Good afternoon, welcome to the studio. I hope that I find you well. I'm on my own today, but the subject that we're talking about today was not filmed with just me. So I visited 213 yesterday and was able to talk to three lovely ladies about a very difficult subject, I would say, for some people to talk about. So there are big life changes, we all know that. Things like moving home can be quite stressful. Marriage can be quite happy but also quite stressful. End of a relationship, having children, getting a new job, unfortunately losing a job, studying. All these things, I'm sure you can think of more, they're all quite stressful and big life changes. But one thing I think that is not really spoken about enough is menopause, which for ladies especially, I think, is such a big life change. Menopause, so menstruation, pause, stop. So the stopping of that sort of period of time for ladies. And if you go online, you can find information on it. But I think really the most important thing is to be able to talk to other people who've had experience of it. Because when you go online, you'll get lists of symptoms and very vague explanations of what it is. And it's one of those things, menopause, that is usually misdiagnosed because the person experiencing this big change will not necessarily think that it's that. The average age for ladies to go through this is between the ages of 47 and 55. But some ladies do have it early and some later. And there's very rarely, ladies that actually don't have it at all. But it's really important to understand, I think, the stages of it. So it doesn't just stop. It doesn't stop, straight away. It's not instant. It takes a period of time. And that period running up to it, where some ladies do notice some changes and some maybe not, that's called perimenopause. So all this is important because I'll be honest with you, up until a few days ago, I was completely and utterly ignorant of most of this, which is silly really, because at some point it's going to be valuable information for me and certainly for most ladies. But enough from me, I think. Telling you the stuff that I've learned only in the past couple of days. I think we should go over to the conversation that we had yesterday. So over to Dawn and the ladies at 213.
Okay, so thank you all for coming together to talk about menopause today, which can be sometimes a difficult conversation to have, especially if you haven't got people around you that can actually understand what you're talking about. So I think really it's over to you, because I certainly am one of those people. I don't mind hearing about it, and certainly there's going to come a time, isn't there, when all of this is so valuable to pass on to people. So I wonder if you can share a bit of your experience. I know Dawn, you're not quite there yet.
No, I think I'm definitely in the perimenopause stage. I have a lot of the symptoms, like the brain fog, the just forgetfulness. I can be looking at people and I know that I've known them for years, but their name is just gone completely. And it can be quite frightening at times, because you think there's something wrong with me, but then you read up more and more about menopause symptoms and perimenopause, and you realise actually this is just normal symptoms, and it's just learning not to panic, I think, because once you start panicking you get anxious about it, and that makes you feel worse, and you start doubting yourself, and but yeah, it can be quite lonely sometimes, I think.
Oh, it can.
Yeah. Because you, like you say, people don't really talk about it, and we need to talk about it.
There's a huge number of symptoms, isn't there, for menopause?
Yeah.
So you're probably the best person to ask. What sort of symptoms would somebody be looking for?
So for me at the moment, it's definitely a brain fog, memory loss, or a bit of confusion around things. Sweats in the middle of the night. Night sweats are horrible. You wake up and you're just soaked through, and it's very uncomfortable. Heightened sense of smell sometimes. Itchy skin, that's horrible, because when you get that itch, it just doesn't go away, and you scratch and scratch and scratch, and that's horrible for me. That's some of the things I'm experiencing at the moment. And it's not nice, and I know it's probably going to get worse over the next year or so.
Well, being postmenopausal, the symptoms, they do ease as you get older, but I can tell you, I'm over 70 now, and you still get some of the symptoms. I get night sweats. When I was going through the menopause, I started with claustrophobia, and that was really bad. I couldn't even sit in a room unless the door was open, and I was sitting next to the door so I could make a quick getaway if I had a panic attack. I couldn't go in lifts. I hated I couldn't sit in the back of the car that didn't have doors at the back. I had to sit in the front all the time. It's just a horrible feeling, and you feel like the walls are closing in on you, I'm a lot better now. I've dealt with it, and it's getting a lot better, but the symptoms do seem to linger on. I can remember my mum. Now, my mum was 96 when she died, but she was still getting night sweats, at that age. So they do seem, in some people, they do seem to linger on quite a lot, but you can, with help, get through them.
Yeah, I think one of the worst things was when you feel like you're on your own, and you used to get so emotional. I burst out crying even at work, and you tried. Nobody really wanted to know because nobody else understood it. No one understood what you were going through. But I still get the night sweats now as well, and I'm in my 70s. Like Sandra said, our mum went through it and she was still going through it in the late 90s.
Because your cycle still continues, doesn't it? Even though the periods have stopped, everything, you still carry on with a natural cycle. So
I still know, like, the week that I would have had a period, because I still get that feeling, in the
emotions.
The mood swings.
Yeah, not only that, I'll just get the symptoms of pre-periods. I don't know why, but there you go.
I think when people don't quite understand something, they can jump to conclusions.
Absolutely.
And that can be hurtful.
Yes.
So, if mood swings are part of it, and somebody thinks, she's got the hump again, it's
what's the matter with you today?
I know, I'm sure she won't mind me saying, a very good friend of mine didn't really realise her symptoms, and it was her daughter who pointed out to her and said, "Mum, something's not right here," and that encouraged her to go and seek a medical diagnosis, and was actually put onto HRT as a result of that. And she said, now looking back, she realises how sometimes her words were quite spiteful, and she didn't realise it was, to her, that was just normal, but it was her daughter pointing out to her, "Mum, you're not being very nice," that prompted that treatment to come about. So, hopefully I've got people around me that will point out if I'm being a bit nasty.
But you're very aren't you? Because obviously you started this support group on a Monday.
Yes.
And now you recognise little symptoms, so perimenopause?
Perimenopause, yeah. I think I speak to a lot of my friends, and we all sort of say, oh, we're feeling a bit like this today, feeling a bit like that, or this has happened to me. And we've all realised that actually we're all of that age, just approaching our 50s, where it's very likely. And I had a check-up with a nurse, and I said to her, do you think I might be reaching menopause? And she said, well, you probably are on the borders of it now, definitely. So because of that,
now.
it has made me more aware, and I think a lot of celebrities are talking about menopause now as well. Yeah, Davina McCall has a whole podcast about it. So yeah, I think people are talking about it more than they've ever done previously.
Yeah. Because it used to be a taboo subject. You know, nobody talked about it.
And we were saying how many women go to the doctors and are given antidepressants because they're talking about how anxious and things they feel. But actually, it's not antidepressants that they need. It's HRT possibly, or just like a vitamin supplement to control what they're going through.
There is, I can't say the name because we're on camera, but there is a product in a certain natural food shop in Southend, and I used to get these from there. And then, because the more I got into the menopause, they weren't strong enough.
Yeah.
So that's when I had to go on to the HRT from the doctor.
Yeah.
But I always advise people to get these items from this food shop.
I have started taking a vitamin supplement specifically for perimenopause. I did ask for advice in a health food shop, and she gave two options. There was a menopause or a perimenopause. So I said, I think I'll go for the perimenopause. The funny thing is, they're right by my kettle because it says take them at breakfast and lunch. One at breakfast, one at lunch. And I get halfway through the morning and I think to myself, I don't even know if I remember taking it. So I take the second one, but then I think, well, that might actually have only been the first one, so I don't remember taking this morning's one. So I know that's another thing, isn't it? It's that whole forgetfulness. Yeah.
You have to get yourself one of those pills.
Yeah.
In every day.
Yeah. It is difficult. I think it's a bit of a minefield, and knowing what symptoms are genuinely part of the menopause process and what symptoms could be for something completely different.
The achy joints.
Oh, well, yeah. Started with those. Yeah. And restless legs in the middle of the night.
Yes.
Restless legs are
Yes.
awful.
You put them this way, you put them that way.
You can't get
You
comfortable.
throw the covers off, you pull the covers back on, and
Yeah.
you
There's
just
a
can't get
certain
comfortable.
menthol paper that you can put on your legs, and it's
Instead of rubbing it on your chest.
Okay.
and I do it every night because I still get restless legs, and it really does help with
That's
cramp.
good to know.
And what I do, I put the moisture cream on my legs first, and then before that's soaked in, I put this
Vapor rub.
on, so it's in with the moisture cream,
Yeah.
so it all goes in, and I put it sort of bottom of my legs and on my knees a bit. And it does touch wood.
That's good to know. I might give that a try. Because, it's probably about 3 or 4 days every month where I lay in bed and I can be awake every couple of hours, and I'm turning and I put my legs to one side, then to the other side, and nothing seems to work. But it is literally 3 or 4 nights every month without fail. Try it, but yeah.
It's valuable recommendations like this that you're obviously going to be able to
Yeah,
get when
definitely.
people come together to talk about things.
And this is why I think when we've got a group of women who are all, at all different stages, and we can all compare notes,
Yeah.
Not just about menopause, but about all different women's health aspects. I think it'll be great. So hopefully we will get a lot of people coming along for that.
Yeah, so when is it? It's Mondays?
Mondays, 12:30 till 2. Refreshments will be available to purchase, and just come along into our lovely lounge. And
So it's where you're sitting here,
Yeah,
nice
yeah.
comfortable seating.
comfortable, yeah. And if we get enough people, we'll start bringing cake.
Well, there you go. Have some cake.
Something to look forward to.
Yeah.
Well, I think we should probably conclude it there, but thank you ever so much for talking about, I know it, like you said, could be a taboo subject, it can be awkward to talk about sometimes, but it shouldn't.
Years ago, you never talked about it.
No.
You just suffered in silence. I'm not talking about my age group, because we knew a bit more than what our mothers knew and our grandmothers knew.
Yeah.
You know, so as
Yeah,
I said, I knew somebody that was going through the menopause, and it turned out she was well in her 40s, but it turned out she was pregnant. You know,
Yeah.
and the doctor was saying, "No, you're menopausal."
Yeah.
I remember someone that was going through a menopause and they thought that she'd lost blood. And they actually took her away. I was very young at the time, I was about 4 or 5. But it was a menopause that she was going through. I mean, that's what, 70 years ago. So,
Quite extreme.
Yeah.
yeah.
And I suppose the good thing is, because you've got daughters, haven't you?
Yeah.
And at least they will know when you go through it. I'm sure you speak
Yeah.
to one another.
Yeah.
So they're getting some sort of an understanding, but not everybody has that. They don't necessarily have family around them.
Yeah.
You know, they
But
don't.
saying that, I can't think of a conversation I've had with my mum about menopause. My sister I would talk to, but then we're sort of just a couple of years apart. And then my daughters, I talk about it too. But I mean, my mum's not that much older than me. She was very young. My mum was only 18 years between us, and actually we still don't even talk about it.
Well, they used to say, "Oh, she's going through the change, just ignore her," you know.
Yeah.
Which is horrible, isn't it? You know,
She can't help it, she's going through the change.
Yeah.
I think it's horrible when you have that time of the month and somebody says to you, "Oh, you know, you're a bit huffy." You know, that's hurtful.
Is it that time again?
Yes, yeah.
And because you put on weight as well. And when I started putting on weight, people used to say, "Oh, what's the matter with you? You're putting on weight. Do you want to join an exercise class? Or, you know, you should watch what you eat." I know what to eat. I know I've got to do exercises, and I work full time and I do quite a lot of exercise. And they still say, "You're putting on weight." You know you're putting on weight. You know why you're putting on weight.
I was going to say, it's so much harder to lose,
Yeah.
you know, as you get older.
Yeah.
I know people can do it,
Yeah.
we can all do it,
Yeah.
but it is a hard slog.
Definitely.
Right, well, thank you very much. And if anybody's interested in coming along, they don't need to book or anything, do they?
No, don't need to do it, just turn up.
Yeah.
And it's not just, it's Monday menopause and women's wellbeing, so it's not
And it's
purely.
It's
It's here 213 Manners Way, and everyone is welcome, all age groups, because it's great to share everyone's experience.
mhm.
I think that's the important thing.
Thank you.
So as you can see there, the group that Dawn is running every Monday from 12:30 to 2 is a very informal, relaxed, friendly group of ladies. Everybody is welcome, and you know, you may have heard quite a few different experiences there, and you may have your own thoughts, and that is a time for you to go and listen to others and share your own experiences as well. So if you want to join in on that group, that's at 213, which is up Manners Way. You don't need to book, and it is free. There's refreshments available to buy, and it is really worthwhile even if you're maybe on the wrong end of 30, and you just want to maybe find out a little bit more about this so that you're more prepared, or perhaps you've gone through it and you want to help other people by sharing your experience. Very much appreciate the time that I spent with Dawn and the ladies yesterday. So if you are watching, thank you for coming on the camera, because I know it can be quite daunting sometimes, and sharing those experiences. Just to tell you some really good news, a special announcement, and you're hearing this first right here before anybody else. So you are privileged to know that Father Christmas is coming to St. Sed's. Yep, Father Christmas to St. Sed's on the 19th of November. So from 10 o'clock in the morning till 2 o'clock in the afternoon, here we will have a Christmas gift fair with a festive cafe, with fun tombola, table sales with gifts available to buy for your loved ones. This is a good time for you now to start buying those gifts, get all that stressful bit out of the way, and then you can enjoy the season. But Father Christmas, loves St. Sed's, as do all of we. So he's making this excellent little trip up the hill to come and visit. So if you're available, no matter how old you are, if you want to come and see Father Christmas, do pop along. So that's not this Saturday, but the Saturday after. What's on at St. Sed's? Well, you will find actually on Facebook, there's actually a list now of what's on at St. Sed's. And if you're interested in what's on at the other churches as well, you will find a lot of information on Facebook. But do subscribe to the newsletter through email, because you get a up-to-date rundown of what's coming up, not only on a weekly basis, but all these special events that are coming up. And there's so many incredible things going on between the three churches. You don't want to be missing out. But tomorrow here in the morning we've got Raindrops, which is a toddler group. Parents or carers come and stay. It's time to play together. We serve hot toast, and it's only £2 per child over one, with under ones for free. That's 9:30 to 11. Then we've got the life skills course continues. So Bernard, would you introduce a little bit about this week's? Would that be all right? Just tell us a little.
I was behind the camera, and we continue our life skills course. We are at the session 4 now, and we'll speak tomorrow about how to save energy. I suppose it is an important topic, especially now when the weather started to cool down very, very sharply. And we know that at the end of the month, when our bills will come home to visit our post box, we'll find quite a higher level of payment than we did last month. And for that, it's good to know that we can keep our houses warm without spending too much. Just we need some skills, and for that we are here tomorrow 1:30 here at St. Bridgewater Drive, and we can share our experience and to help each other how to manage, how to cope with this winter time.
Yeah, and just to add to that, I think there's no obligation to come every week. I think there's only 2 weeks remaining now. You will pick up excellent, valuable information on how to save money, how to budget, how to maybe clear some debts, just by being around people with all of this knowledge to share with you. Refreshments available. Just pop along and see what you think. If it's not for you, it's not for you. But you never know. It could really save you in the long run. Sunday worship at 3:30 here. It is Remembrance Sunday, so there's also a service at St. Peter's. You may wish to go to both. Monday we have warm church, so Mondays and Wednesdays from 1 o'clock until 3 o'clock. If you would like to come into the church, bring whatever you would like, whatever you need to do, your knitting or I don't know, just your phone. You can sit there on your phone if you like, listen to some music, or just come in for a cuppa. We have warm church, which means that we put the heating on, so we pay that bill and it saves you. So that's one good one for the life skills course, isn't it? Also, we have hot soup and a roll, only £1, so you can't really go far wrong with that. We also on a Wednesday have Oasis, which is a friendship cafe. Anybody's welcome to come along 1 till 3, have their drink and their chat, but also we have other things running alongside that. If you want to come in and meet local counsellors and talk about issues affecting the community or affecting you personally, and you need some advice with that, do come along, because we will have Helen, Laurie or Keith coming along in the next 3 weeks. We've also, if you're a resident of South Essex Homes property, so a social housing resident with South Essex Homes, and you have a query or I'm going to have to say a complaint maybe, and email or phone is not something that you prefer to do, you'd like to meet in person, we are actually running a hub here from 1 to 3 on Wednesdays, and it's fortnightly, so we just had one this Wednesday yesterday, the next one's in 2 weeks. So do come along and you get to speak to the staff and they'll help you work out whatever it is, whatever issue that you're having. Again, studio back every Thursday. If you have anything that you would like to comment, please put it on Facebook and we will pick it up and reply to you, or contact us. Ben has put the information up there on the screen. So I hope that you have found it as interesting as I have to hear about the menopause, and if it does affect you, do get in contact. If it doesn't affect you, perhaps you're a man, I tell you now, having this information and being able to support ladies is invaluable. So I hope that men will also watch this and share this valuable information with others. So that's all from me for now, and I hope you have a lovely weekend, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.